Yeah, okay, sorry, my phone just like glitched out for no reason. So this is part 2 to that last video. So like I was saying, right, you don't need to, like, why go through the surgical change? I mean, unless you're feeling really dysphoric about your bottoms, you're really unsatisfied, then yeah, that's probably, then you can change them if you want. But a lot of them, like, because it's, private parts, you're not going to show anyone. But I'm going to show off this leopard frog, right? And, why change them? Not every, they could be happy with a penis. They could be happy with a vagina. They can even be happy with breasts. They can use things like binders to, flatten their chest, make it more, masculine-like. But I think top surgeries for trans masculine people are a lot more common than I think bottom, because you see the chest more often than you see the bottom. It's easier to hide your titties more than, or actually it's harder to hide your titties. It's easier to hide the vagina than it is the titties. So, and that's the third step. And like I said, minors cannot get their stuff cut off. I don't know of what state, but even if I would not advocate for any surgery, any cosmetic surgery for an underage person, even nose jobs or something like that, kids shouldn't be and what I mean by kids, I mean by minors, because when people say, oh, I don't want my kids doing that, what do you mean? You're a teenager, you're a baby, you're a toddler? I mean, yeah, they're all minors, but there's a lot of distinction between them. And so another frog, guys. So got it. I don't know why this stuff makes. I think it's all the talking. It makes me tired. But anyways, right? I don't think there's any state that allows. I think, so. Anyway, I don't think you should be worried about kids getting their genitals chopped off, because I don't think that's illegal. I don't any trans person in their right mind. I think 99, basically 100% of them agree. No, they surgery probably shouldn't be done to minors. Maybe, I don't know, 17, 16, but that's not even, right? They don't, because the surgery it's easier to hide, right? Breasts and it's easier to hide stuff like that, right? So so that's a decision you make when you're an adult. Yeah, but when you're a kid, obviously, it's a lot harder to reverse these. It's a lot harder to reverse these procedures than it is actually, do them. But I guess this is a message for concerned parents, maybe parents with a kid that doesn't identify with what they were born as. Maybe they have they're sporting a certain flag on their backpacks, one of pink, blue, and white, instead of the regular red, white, and blue. I mean, so to those people with a young person, it shouldn't be concerned. Anyways, when you're talking about transition regret, it's I don't know where I heard it, but it's I don't know the specific amount that have regret, but it's 5. It's under 10%. I think it's under 5%. It's 1% have transition regret, and sometimes some people figure out that maybe that they're not this gender, but instead they're actually transitioning to this. So, for example, if someone thinks they want to transition from they're born female but feel more masculine, so they transition from female to male transition, but then they realize, actually I don't really identify as, I don't identify as a woman, but not a man either, so I'm gonna go non-binary. And I don't know if that's exactly transition regret, but people there's a lot of fluidity when it comes to gender and stuff. So I mean, you shouldn't be worried if your kid is going to cut off their nuts, or if they're gonna, I don't know, do something or if you're gonna lose your precious child, because your kid's gonna still be there. Your kid won't be there if you don't just like support them. At least be reasonable, you know. Because yeah, the highest reason for like why like trans people in general like have lower lifespans or high suicide rate. It's not. It's like people are like, oh, it's that's how the way they are. No, it's not because the way they are. This is the way they're treated. Like, like oh my God, people, right? It's not because they're born from the crotch of the devil. It's because right, you treat them like that's how the way they are. Like that's the way they are, but they're not. Right, and this whole demonization around like oh, protect the kids, but like what are you protecting? You gotta protect the kids from yourself. Sorry, I thought there was a bug on my leg. So anyway, if like to parents, if you have a trans kid, you shouldn't be too worried about it unless like obviously if they're getting bullied about it. What you should don't be worried about is the nature of it yourself. You should be worried, right? Obviously for your kids' rights, for your kids' mental well-being. Like I said, bullying, because some parents, right, do not raise their kids right. Some parents are also dicks. So, anyways, but I know people. The biggest thing is like cutting the genitals off, which just doesn't happen, right? It's not legal. Even if it was legal, most trans people, I think like all of them, basically would object to it, no matter if it's surgical or like some sort of barbaric procedure. But oh, did you blink? Did you blink, little froggy? I don't know how many frogs I found. This has to be a part 2. I don't know what happened to video 1. It literally just cut out, and I can't like continue it. So, yeah, if you like see part 1, I usually don't make part 1s, but I guess I had to because of my stupid fucking phone. I think shoot, I was gonna say something more. What was I was talking about parents. Don't worry about it. Like, don't worry. It's not like transitioning isn't bad. Oh, yeah. Actually, it was. So if you're worried about your kid like wanting their balls cut off, then I think the big problem is that people are defining, right? Like man equals penis and woman equals vagina. If you will just allow women to have penises and men to have vaginas, then maybe they don't really want. Maybe they wouldn't really want to change. I want to cut them off because, like I said, surgical is usually the last. It's usually the last step and is optional. It's usually like just the extra, pizzazz if they're, feeling, if they're feeling very dysphoric about their bottoms. But yeah, I guess like people really reject this whole like, oh, gender and sex are not separate. They are the same. But I think it's just really like. People are so afraid of things getting complicated, but it's not that complicated. It's just separate. It's the separation between psychology and biology, right? Because I mean, obviously, like we're intelligent beings. We're going to develop complexes around, our own biology. And so, I guess if we're really confused about what's the difference, right? Sex is what's in your pants. And gender is what's in your head, right? What do you feel like? Sex is, penis, vagina, whatever. And gender is, right, clothing and style and what each gender is expected to do. Because, I mean, just take a look at animals, right? They usually don't have, like, very complex social structures, at least not as much as humans. I guess, so, like, when you see them act, they don't wear dresses, they don't wear makeup, they don't, like there are certain ways like that, like when it comes to sexual dimorphism, right? Let's think of lions, for example. Like yeah, obviously they have certain like roles. That the female, obviously the lioness is the one who hunts. The male is the one who mates. It sits there and just mates and fathers cubs and just mates. But with animals, right? They don't really think about it as much. So there's some neurological components to the male brain and the female brain. So it could be argued that that it's more that lions don't really, that it isn't really, like, they're not thinking about it. It isn't embedded in their culture, that it is more neurological, right? It's their species that denotes that, females do this, and it's more, so that would be considered sex and not gender, because another way to think about the difference between sex and gender, gender is, the offspring of sex, right? Gender is built upon sex, but it's not intrinsically, but it can be changed, right? It can be variable from one group to another, right? Just, think of the whole, like, clothes and customs, right? For one, like, human culture, right? One thing could be seen as masculine, the other, and then up there, like, another thing is seen as feminine, but then a different culture, it's all switched around, right? Just take, long hair, right? In the West, long hair is considered masculine, or, sorry, not long hair, short hair is masculine, but, especially like Native Americans and other cultures, right? It's seen as, right, that, like, long hair is masculine, and short hair, right? The long hair, short hair, you get it, right? Just because Americans say that short hair is masculine doesn't mean it is everywhere. So, and I get this. So that's basically just the whole gist of it. It's not so concrete. And if we make it so concrete, then it just adds a bunch of unnecessary restrictions on other people, right? Because, I mean, you might be fine sitting here, like, with your concrete norms, right? With your whole, wife in the kitchen, man makes the bacon, but other people are not, and you can't decide for other people that you can't just say that, oh, well, I think you're this, so I'm gonna call you this, and I think that's like, it bridges, that's their own personal freedom, that's their own body, that's their own, I guess, right, soul. And I mean, a soul belongs to another person, and I don't know, you can't change that. I guess maybe it's more like a consciousness than a soul, but anyway, shoot, I was gonna say something again, but I think I'm just, damn it, the more I talk, the more mucus builds up in the back of my throat. But I was glad to find all those frogs back there. There are a lot of them, weren't they? Nobody cool if I saw the thunderstorm, but anyways, I'm getting tired. I'm getting too tired to talk, right? I could do I could walk for 100 miles and not get tired, but talking, empty my brain. My brain is tired. So I'm going to see you later, guys. Bye-bye.